live from Inner Circle Studios, broadcasting from the basement of our home office. This is the Inner Circle Counseling Show, where America goes for counseling. We're late night in the studio this evening. It's a little bit different vibe down here. I just had a thought about this next video that I was going to do. And I admit, I'm struggle with this second video. Admittedly, we were coming off our biggest video, our most viewed video that I just did about ghosting. If you haven't seen it, go head to the YouTube channel. It's on there, and it did really well. And it's probably a number of reasons for that. I haven't figured that out, but I did really speak from the heart. And as I said and I promised, season 2 will focus more on my situation, my relationship situation, about being ghosted. And we're going to build off of the last video. And today's video, I had to take a different approach. Admittedly, again, I recorded it and I just didn't like it. I recorded it twice and it just didn't sit well with me. And I think the primary reason it didn't sit well with me is because I don't feel like I was completely honest. I wasn't being myself like I did in the ghosted video. So let's give this one a shot and see where we end up. And before I get into this, this one is a deep one. The question is love dead? Yeah, I said it, and I say it from my heart. Is love dead? I'm asking the question to you, America, because the more and more people I talk to about this topic, excuse me, and as we walk through this, something's going on with love. And I see got the rest in peace. I got the heart on the EKG. I don't really know what's going on, but I've been doing a lot of research and I want to study this. But we got a message. We got a text message from our ghosted video, someone who watched it. And it's one of my guys. I think he'd be okay if I use this text. I don't have his name on there. But he brought something to my attention that I had never heard before. And I've been in this game for a little while now. And I want to try to break this down. Excuse me 1 minute. We're doing this kind of real time. I kind of scrapped all the notes and I wanted to speak from the heart. This is what this message said. It's regarding ghosting. Great video, Miller. It sucks being ghosted. Every time I've been ghosted, I got angry and upset because I knew deep down the reality was that I was disposable. That hit me hard. But this hit me even harder. Relationships rarely survive nowadays just based off love. Modern relationships survive because of utility. Now, this guy who sent this, shout out to my man, you know who you are, is in his about mid-20s, early 20s. And the depth, you could tell he had been through this ghosting. You could tell he'd been through some relationships that he struggled through. To put this in perspective, it blew my mind. But then I said to myself, what the hell is this utility thing? I've heard that word, but not used in this context. So like we do on the show, we use definitions. And I want to break this down so we can see if this makes sense to us and what you might be going through, America. Utility. Fitness for some purpose or worth to some end. That's definition 1. You typically see a couple, 2 or 3 definitions in these breakdowns. 2, something useful or designed for use. So that's the question there lies. Can love be modified to a person for something useful or designed to their specific use? And this one got me. This is the last one. It's at the bottom of the screen. It got cut off, so I'll read. Capable of serving as a substitute in various roles or positions. When I read that, guys, I said, oh my God, I think I got it all wrong. And as I talk about this and say it, a wave of embarrassment just came over me. I'm a 47-year-old man in America. Shouldn't I know this? A therapist, one of the best that, I'm one of the best. I'm America's counselor, and I didn't know this. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm actually operating out of shame right now. Because this young guy had to school me on what modern love is all about. It's about utility. this is what I thought it was about. I'm a skeet forward a little bit here on my slides and open up to, okay, then, like, well, Miller, what do you think love is? What is love? And I got my fancy slide back here like I do. But I'm going to show you, like, the traditional perspective. And this was what's very interesting. This definition of love has 4 pages, same dictionary, deeper, more depth in this perspective. Let's break this down. Just bear with me, because we're at a fork in the road. Love, strong affection for another, arising out of kinship or personal ties. A strong affection. That's where I was operating. Attraction based on sexual desire. I think we all got that one down. That's number 2. 3, affection based on admiration. Admiration. Nobody uses that word anymore, but it makes sense to me. I admire the person I was with. This is going back to ghosting in my relationship. I'm keeping it real with you. I had to do this video again. Another definition, an assurance of affection. Assurance. Coming home and you guaranteed to have it. That's what I thought love was. Warm attachment, enthusiasm, or devotion. The object of attachment, devotion, or admiration. They're following back up on that. A beloved person. The British use the term love. Hey, hi, love, as a term of endearment. There's another definition. It gets deeper. Bear with me. The fatherly concern of God for humankind. Fatherly concern of God. That's deep. A lot of us in this country question if God is real or not. So can you have love? Brotherly concern for others. Do we have a brotherly concern for others around here? I don't see a lot of it. A person's adoration of God. Wow. These are all definitions in the dictionary, which I was operating out of. A god, such as Cupid or Eros. This one's deep. The score of 0, as in tennis, meaning we're equals. We use love in tennis to mean 0-0. That means we're equals. I don't see that very often in relationships where there's equality. There's always often someone getting one up or taken advantage of. That's like the new way, but love is 0. Inspired by affection. Inspired. Are you inspired? Are you in love? Are you inspired? Start thinking about these things. To hold dear. To cherish. That word cherish is on another level. These are definitions. It continues on. To feel a lover's passion, devotion, or tenderness. To capitulate with. You can look these up. To like or desire actively, to take pleasure in. Do you feel like that about your significant other? Well, I did in my relationship. I'll be honest, right in front of this camera, in front of YouTube, in front of the world. Yes, I did. But maybe I wasn't right. Is love dead? Does it no longer exist? To feel affection or experience desire. I don't know a lot of people feeling that. And there's a sadness that's come over me. So before we go into this question, I kind of want to back this up a little bit. I like to look at, like, because I am a psychologist by training and sociologist, I like to look at, like, well, I'm talking all this theory, but what's actually happening, we're here in the United States. Shout out to the world. I hope everybody's doing all right. What's happening here with the state of marriages, relationships, and living alone? Let's tap into this. Well, you can see on my graph here, this is the state of marriage in America. Back about 50, 60 years ago, almost 80% of homes had a married couple in them. In 2022, our latest statistics from the Census Bureau are showing like 46, 47% of households have married couples. And I like to look deeper. If you ask those married couples if they're happy or not, you better be careful of the answer you get. I bet only half of them are, based on the divorce statistics. So our numbers are going down. Folks aren't getting married. What about by race and gender and all that? You got to look at it that way too. Hispanic and black men are less likely to be married than white men. Why is that a big deal? Well, the white population is pretty consistent. It's not growing significantly, but the black and Hispanic population is. But ladies, those men aren't getting married. Black men are the least likely, or the likeliest, to have never been married out of the group of males. Check this out. This will take you to another level. Black women are less likely to be married than women of any other demographic. The shift is big. So what's going on here? Is love dead? That's an important question, because that's at the fabric of our society. So let's flip it. Let's move away from marriage. Some of you are probably like, well, we don't have to do that. Marriage isn't important. You can live with people and it'd be cool. But check this out. How many people are living alone in America? Well, in 1960, we had about 7 million people living alone. Okay. It's a number. We don't know what it means until you put it in perspective. 2022, we had about 38 million people in America living alone. Yeah, now you might be saying, well, Miller, the statistics don't make sense because in the 60s there was less people. 2022, there's more people. Here's the kicker. This sentence is interesting. The population who lived with at least one other person hasn't even doubled during that period. There are a hell of a lot of people living alone, and nothing shifted since the 60s, but the trend of loneliness. There's a lot of statistics and research and data on the loneliness trends in America, and I'm going to do a video on that because the loneliness hit me during my relationship breakup in the ghosting period, and it had a significant impact on my mental health. And these people living alone, I'm one of them. This is impacting us. It's impacting our society. Even so far as how many kids we're having, our population's going down. So we need to keep an eye. If you know anyone living alone, check in on them. Just see how they're doing. Go visit them, because this is an epidemic and it's going to have an impact on our housing and everything that we do in our country. So we tapped into what was love, and my final question here, when I pull down on this, is you can look on the board here, balancing some scales. Like, the question, ladies and gentlemen, is love dead? Is love on life support? I struggled with the terminology there. I wasn't sure what to call this, but the question is love dead? My answer is no. The question, what's happening is there are a couple of different definitions of love, and again, this text pulled it out. It's utility versus traditional love, and we have a lot of people using the word love and not knowing what the hell it means. And you know who I'm talking to, America. It might be you, so tune in and zoom in a little bit closer. Before you start telling people you love them, know what definition you're using. And more important, give that person a sense of what definition you're using. And people who are receiving that word love, you better know what you're receiving. Listen, watch your behavior, listen to signs, listen and watch for red flags. I'm talking to myself here. I'm on the screens all in this room, looking at myself talk about love. I missed some signs, and that's on me. I'll take that one. But we really have to understand, when we're telling people we love them and investing this time and effort, are you doing it out of true love? Or are you doing it out of utility? Or there's probably a darker side of it, which a lot of these ghosters use. And we'll talk about that in a future video. So love isn't dead, you ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going there with it, because it's too powerful in the definition. It talks about God, talks about cherishing and deeper connection. And I believe that's still out there. And I want to help resurrect it. But first we have to educate America. We have to change what we're feeding ourselves, what content from social media we're taking in, believing that the grass is greener on the other side. We need to maintain a focus, a commitment to our families when we pull them together. When we say we love them, it's at the core of love. If it's for any other reason, I can get money myself. I don't need to marry for love. And you can too. But you have to have a certain level of faith of something that's bigger than you when you go into a deeper relationship based on love. So love is not dead. We still had a smile on our faces. And this is something that I'll still be looking for. And I hope you'll still be looking for it too, America. Because we're not designed to do life alone. The Inner Circle Counseling Show is also established so you don't do life alone. So while you're dusting getting the dust off you, coming out of the cloud, off of being ghosted or broken up with or having a heartbreak, like a lot of us Americans and people around the world are doing, just remember you can turn into the Inner Circle Counseling Show and we'll walk and coach you through this. Remember, we're here at the Inner Circle Counseling Show.